I think we're live. Hello. I think. Yeah, we're live.
I'm gonna refresh it and see if I see it.
Yes.
Um,
We're here for sure.
I don't see it on the link though. Oh wait, there it goes.
Hello. Yeah, we're live.
So now I forget for last time. Do I close out of this Google Hangout?
No.
Okay.
You keep that one up. You just close out of the Crowdcast one.
Okay. Because I feel like last time I saw, like, I don't see like the questions or anything right now.
What do you mean?
Like if I close out of the Crowdcast, I won't see like the questions or the people underneath it or anything.
You don't see that little panel on Google Hangouts on your left side? Like scroll your mouse over there, you don't see any of that?
Oh wait, I think it's happening. So let me close that. Technology, not my friend. Yes.
Awesome. Got it.
Got it. Sorry about that. Okay. We should get started then.
Yes. I hope that everybody found us safely. Because Crowdcast was not on our side today.
Or ever.
Yeah, right. And then I woke up like literally an hour before it was time to do this because it was like pouring down rain and my little guy was still sleeping, which he never sleeps past like maybe 8 o'clock. So it was literally a miracle, but not a miracle because I had to do this in an hour. So yeah, you guys, welcome.
Alrighty. So, do you want to do a little quick intro, just who you are, you want to say? Jordan?
Yeah. Well, I am Carissa. I am from CarissaLene.com, and I have a blog, and I also teach entrepreneurs how to build a solid foundation and a defined path towards their failure-proof business. And so, yeah, Caitlin, your turn.
I'm Caitlin of The Crown Fox, and I work with creative individuals and companies to create cohesive and clean branding to better their business and online presence. And today is the second part of our, oh, it just got really bright in here. Today is the second part of our 4-part series, Idea to Launch.
Yes.
And
There are sharing buttons, I believe, right, somewhere. So if you want to share this out to like Twitter or whatnot, that would be so appreciated. I know that it's Halloween, so people are probably still either asleep still from last night or sleeping in for tonight. So
that's true.
yeah.
But can you tell that I have cat ears on?
Yes, I can.
For Halloween.
I think when the way you're sitting right now, you can't see, but every time you like move it back or whatnot, you can see it.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're here though, let us know that you're here so we can say hi to you right before we start and get into the mix and the meat of things.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I was just gonna get started, I guess, with the different points that we're talking about. I'm gonna be talking about developing your brand visuals, being cohesive, and finding your audience and reaching out to your audience. And then, Chris, I know you're gonna be talking about goals.
You're finding your house, the house, like your product or service. Also talking about goal setting, and then also competitive analysis. Doing competitive analysis with your non-competitors and with your competitors. So what was I going to say to you? Oh, if you have any questions, there is a Q&A box at the bottom, so you can ask as many questions as you like. We had a great amount of questions last time. It was really, really cool, really good. So if you have any questions as we're talking and you can't answer them right away, just go ahead and put them in that little comment box at the bottom below your screen, and we can answer them afterwards. And yeah, make sure we get to all of them.
Great. So I guess we'll get started. So creating your visuals, I guess everyone is really anxious to do that right away. When they start thinking about developing a brand, they're like, let's make a logo. We covered last week or 2 weeks ago the importance of figuring out some stuff about your brand before you jump into your visuals. So we covered, understanding your why and your who and your how before you even begin to think about visual elements. So once it's time to actually sit down and start talking about, the look of your brand identity, I start with a inspiration board that I build with the client through Pinterest. And I've also been doing this in my e-course, just kind of helping people get started, because I can't really be like, oh, let's build your whole logo, or let me teach you how to do Photoshop if you don't have Photoshop. But I can help you figure out kind of getting an idea for what you want your brand to look like. So I think we can kind of go over how I do that today. If you don't use Pinterest, I'm very surprised. But basically, you would log on and you would create a board devoted to inspiration images, for your brand. And the key part to that, for me at least, is that you don't necessarily pin as yourself, but instead you pin in that mindset of your target client. So you've already analyzed it, you've already figured it out, you already know everything about them, they're already your best friend. But now you can take it and get in their head and then start pinning images kind of as them. I think by nature, you'll only really choose images that you also like. So we'll get, a glimpse into your style or colors that you're drawn to, or patterns that you're drawn to, or just overall kind of feel that you're drawn to. But hopefully we're also getting a glimpse into your target client and what you think they will like and what you think will appeal to them, so that we can create an identity that goes along with that. So I'm going to figure out screen sharing, or not screen sharing, where you can see the my sample Pinterest board.
Yeah, it's screen share. You see, it's that green, that green one to the left.
And then I can pull up this. Hold on.
No problem.
I want to share.
I always forget to show our slide to guys. They're really like, we're going to show them a little bit at the end, but they're really like a guide for us.
Do you see my screen?
Yes, you're good.
Okay, I went too far though. Okay. Google is now full screen. Allow. Okay, go away. Okay, anyway, so this is the Pinterest board that I made, that I pinned images through the lens of my target client. And there's already a color story really starting to happen, and a style really starting to happen just from these images alone. And I like to pin a bunch of random things. I kind of went through my personal Pinterest board and looked through things that I had pinned before and thought, analyzed it. I think that my target client would pin that also. But you could do it any number of ways. I guess, most people have like thousands of pins already on Pinterest to kind of start from. So I did that, and then I took all these images into Photoshop and put it into a template and created my inspiration board. And this is a lot of like my personal style too, because my target client is kind of very similar to me, but there are some, key differences and things that are more specific to them. Like I would think the bottom living room is really pretty, but I would never actually have a white couch. I'd spill wine all over it or something. But so I kind of get in my head, and also I get in the client's head, and then I also can get in the client, who they think the target client is too. So let me get back to here. Now I want to stop screen sharing. How do I stop? Am I back? Yes, okay.
Yeah, you're all good. You're all good. Sorry, I had it on mute.
It's fine. So I think it's really important though, like when you are pinning, that you try to steer clear as best you can from other brands' inspiration boards, other brands' style guides, other brands' logos, because I think once you decide you like that and you get it in your head, and then you show it to your designer and then they get that in their head, I think it's kind of hard to escape that and create something that's like completely custom, completely you. So I usually tell clients that, you know, if they can, to try to avoid anything that is like clearly branding or like a logo or something like that. So let me see on here. And
Yeah, I know, like for me, sorry, really quickly. I know,
okay.
like for me, coming from a like non-design background at all, like I don't know anything about design. I know like the bare minimum, but I know if I go on Pinterest and I start like doing those inspiration boards, and I'm looking on there, and I'm like, oh, I want that. Like I'm just looking at everybody else's, their brand boards or their, whatever they have going on their site. And I'm like, oh, I want the exact same thing they have because it's perfect. It's like it represents me so well. But at the same time, like that's their brand, that's their, those their colors, that's their logo, that's their their typography. So yeah, I have to remind myself, okay, I can't do that. That's not a good thing to do. Figure out a way to make it unique to me.
Exactly. It's so easy. Even me, like I'm creating my brand, creating the Crown Fox brand, like so hard not to like see somebody else and be like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. And then it's something like completely different, completely like not what I actually want. I just think, oh, it looks good. So I really try to emphasize that point to clients, and I think that you should emphasize that point to yourself if you're doing this, solo. Is try not to get too distracted by what everyone else is doing, and honestly, just like truly pin from like what you think your target client will like and what you like, because that will in the end be the thing that consistently, years down the road, you'll still like your brand and you won't feel the need to rebrand like every 6 months or something. If you feel the need to rebrand every 6 months, then you might have just stolen someone else's ideas and accidentally. And
yeah, and it happens too accidentally, but yeah, rebranding every 6 months is too much work for me.
Exactly. It's too much money to pay someone, and it's too much work for you. And it's like the kind of work that like I think we think we're working, but really we're just wasting time prolonging other things. Like, oh, I need to rebrand before I can launch a course, or I need to rebrand before I can do whatever. Like, no, you need to just work hard to get it right the first time.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so the next I wanted to talk about how when you take your inspiration board and then you kind of can turn it into a style guide, which a style guide is vital if you want to have a cohesive brand. A style guide basically tells you everything, like how you're going to use your brand, like how you're going to use fonts, how you're going to use colors, what colors you're going to use when, what fonts you're going to use when, stylistically what your pictures are going to look like, if they're patterns. Like it just basically breaks down everything so that there's never a question like, oh, how should I make this look? Like, I don't know. Like your style guides answer that. And why that's beneficial is because then it becomes a cohesive brand. So like your visuals on Twitter look just like your visuals on your blog, look just like your visuals on Facebook. So like if I see you on Facebook and I think you're awesome and I think everything looks really cool, then I can go over to your Twitter and I know it's still the same person. I'm not like, who is this random person that now has like, I don't know, greens everywhere, when on Facebook they were like all about like feminine pinks and soft colors. Like you want it to be the same experience for a potential client or even like a business that you're working with. So I have a sheet in the worksheet that kind of lists out all the things that could potentially and should be considered on your style guide. And I mean, maybe you don't have a pattern or anything like that, but I still think you should kind of go through it and think about it. And then, sorry, I'm looking at my notes. I would rather consider all of these things and have answers and like, resolve issues, like if it's going to be a pattern or if it's going to be whatever. I'd rather have all that resolved beforehand, so that's like in 6 months when I'm done working with a client, they don't come back and they're like, hey, I need to make this PDF. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what it should look like, or I don't know, what to give to another designer to work on. And I can say, well, we talked about this in your style guide. Your header font is this, your body font is this, etc. So it wouldn't be difficult for someone else to work with them, and they would be able to keep it, consistent and on brand. So where am I at? Oh, so the non-cohesive brands, what's really important too is not just your visuals, but also thinking about like your voice. So if you have this, visual look of being something that's like soft and feminine and nice and sweet, and then you get on Twitter and you're like, F-bomb this, F-bomb that, da, 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 like you need to go make some effing money. Like that doesn't really correlate to each other. On the contrary, there's people that that's their whole shtick, like that they're like are super blunt, super like who they are, they can talk however they talk in person, and that's awesome. Like that's their brand and that's what they do, and they're consistent with it, and they're they have that going throughout their brand, and that's great. And their colors are probably like something a little less soft and a little less muted. It's all ties together into this overall feel. But I think it's important that you consider every element, like consider everything you tweet, consider everything you Facebook post. Like for me, for the Crown Fox, I try really hard to be like a resource and be helpful and be sweet and be kind and be like invested in people. And like, I want to like know if you're working on your brand like at night after work, and I want to know what your job, like I want to know about people that I work with, and I want to like help them and like be personable. So it like wouldn't really make sense if I like got on Twitter and was just like, I don't know, just being mean or being unhelpful or being really sarcastic and crude, even though, like if you talk to me like personally one-on-one, like I can get kind of sarcastic and I can get kind of witty. Like I try to keep that away from the Crown Fox because that's not what I want to put out there. I want to put out there that I am a nice, helpful friend, ally. I don't want it to be like, oh man, she can get real crazy or anything like that. That's not to say that you should like change who you are or anything like that, but I think you should build your brand with an intent and follow through with that intent and have a plan and follow through with that plan and just be consistent across all mediums. Consider what you want visually someone to think about you, like when they see your visuals, what you want them to think, and then think about how you can make that apparent in how you talk on webinars, how you can make that apparent with how you tweet, with how you email. Like even my invoices, which are like super legal, boring stuff, I still include like a note that's like, hey, like I'm so glad to work with you. Like this is gonna be awesome. Thank you for reaching out to me. I'm excited to work on, whatever it is. I try to like be personable, be invested in their lives, because that makes the experience better for me. It makes it better for them. So, sorry, I'm still reading through my stuff. But yeah, that's kind of all I really have as far as like cohesive branding. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask. But basically the whole point of cohesive branding is just to be considerate, to be intentional, to think about things, to think about what you're putting out into the world and that it relates back to what you want to put out into the world, to have that plan in place. And yeah, that's about it. So I guess we can switch over if you're ready over there.
Yeah. All right. So I hear it echo.
I don't hear it. You want me to unplug something? My microphone?
Okay, hello? Nope, I still hear it.
Okay, what if I unplug my microphone? Now try.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I can still hear it. I don't know why. Maybe mute your end and see if that works.
Let me figure out how to do that. Hold on.
It's at the top, like if you scroll up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, okay, I don't hear it now. Strange, I don't know why. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna jump into finding your how. Okay, you guys, and really quick though, I have the worksheets that we gave you. It included how to narrow your what, right? Let me kind of define what I mean by this, okay? So sometimes I think of these things and like my brain thinks of these like really astronomical things, and then I'm like, wait, how does that make sense again? So I had to really backtrack and like, okay, focus and tell me, how does this make sense? But okay, so what I mean by finding your what is pretty much finding finding your idea. Okay, your what is your idea? What are you selling to these people? What do you want them to get from you, right? So the brain dump that I have on there, it's definitely for you to kind of go in there, do exactly what I tell you to do. Like, don't steer from it, right? Set a timer for 15 minutes or 30 minutes altogether, and write. And it definitely helps to dump everything out on paper, to get it out of your head, and to see what you actually have as as an idea, like what all the ideas you have, and put them on paper so that you can, it'll help as you go along, right? It'll help form other ideas for your business as far as even like blog posts, or whether you do, online classes or courses or whatever, your ideal product or service is. It'll help with that. And then you have, of course, some questions underneath there that's asking you about some of your favorite things to do, what you're passionate about, some things that some training or education or expertise you have in, things like that, to help you kind of narrow it all together, okay? And so you're gonna take what you have in the brain dump, you're gonna take those questions, your answers to those questions, and find those common traits, find those patterns and those consistent things that you see popping up, and that'll help you figure out some ideas, get some concrete ideas, because whatever you can talk about for the longest amount of time, and you can talk a day in and day out. I mean, if somebody gave you a platform and a microphone, you can be at it all day. That's probably a good indication that this is probably something that I should probably look into more, and to form an idea and a business behind, because that's something that you can put out various of content behind, which leads us to our finding your how. And so your how is how I define it as this. It is how you are going to deliver your idea to your audience. Okay, or to your ideal client. So you have an idea now. So your idea is this, this, like I use in my blog post, is your idea is to create the softest baby tees, right? So that's your idea. And so what's the best way to deliver that with your, hey Rakita, I just saw you pop in. What's the best way to deliver your idea to your audience, right? So that worksheet that I gave you also at the bottom, it has a list of like products and services, right? So maybe you're looking at that list and you're trying to figure out, okay, what's the best method for me to deliver my idea to my audience so that they can buy from me without any hassle, right? So maybe what about infomercials? Do moms really, watch infomercials at night? Maybe not. What about, radio commercials? Or what if I, pop up on a TV commercial? Am I going to really get the advertising that I need? Is that going to be for my ideal audience, right? Maybe if I do an online store, that might work, because moms like the convenience of online shopping, and to get it, delivered to their home without them having to go to 15 stores to get that one item that they want. So that's what I mean when I say finding your how. Find the best way, the best method of delivery from your idea to your client. All right. So that's really simple, you guys. And I gave a list of like products and services that you can use to kind of get your mind flowing as to what I mean. So definitely you can look into magazines, checklists, recipe book cards. I mean, you can definitely figure out these plain ways and make them fit your business. Those recipe book cards doesn't mean a recipe that you're actually cooking. It can be like a step-by-step something, you know what I mean? It could be some type of flashcards, so make it unique to what your business entails. All right, so that was a quick little find your how. Okay, let's jump into the next one. We're going to talk about goal setting, goal planning. I like to call it goal mining, because I feel like that's in my mind, that's what I'm doing. I'm mining for goals, but that could just be my mind though. All right, so I like to do this because this gives you an idea, a vision for where you want your business to be, and not only your business, but your personal life. Because as majority of us are solopreneurs or becoming solopreneurs, and so we're doing this thing by ourselves. We may have another partner, maybe not, but even as just a duo, we still need to form a vision for our personal lives and our vision lives, and they kind of go one in one. So something that I have, something that I usually do is I make like a client, or you can do this right now as well, if you want to go ahead and write down like that 1 year goal. Like, what is your 1 year personal and professional goal? Like for me, and Caitlin, you can put this in the chat box if you want to for yours as well. But for me, it's like I want to, in 1 year, I want to make $10,000 a month. May sound crazy, but that's my goal. That's where I want to be. So since I know this is income mark, I'm going to figure out how to get that goal, below. So this is my, that $10,000 a month is where I want to be, right? So Caitlin said she wanted 1,000 subscribers by her 1 year goal. That's perfectly doable, right? I feel like 1,000 subscribers is a good mark for me, so I'm gonna take that too. So yeah, I definitely want 1,000 subscribers on my 1 year goal, right? Or maybe by 1 year, if you think about a year, it's gonna be November. So we're gonna say November of next year. Where do I want to be? I want to have maybe a course, maybe two courses or three courses by then. That's already out, right? So that's another goal that I want to have. And personally, I want to move. So I want to be in a home, or I want to be in a townhome, so I can have grass, take my baby outside, and we can play around in the grass. Those are goals I'm talking about. Like, really think about where do you want to be, because this really helps you as you're trickling down to figure out how I got to get there. Those steps you got to take to get there. Okay. And so you can use the worksheets, you guys. I mean, like, literally write this down right now. Take a minute to write it down. We're not rushing you, because this really definitely helps visualize where your business should be. Okay, and so 6 months from now, where do you want to be? 6 months from now, we're going to say it's May. Okay, it's my baby's birthday. He'll be 2 years old. Gosh, time is flying by. I'm not gonna cry. But he'll be 2 years old in May. So I think about those things, because he's a reflection of, like, my business and my life as well too. So I'm saying, okay, so in if I wanted $2,000 in a year, maybe I should make $5,000 by 6 months. So, and I mean per month by that time. So my goal is to make $5,000 by May. And maybe if I want 1,000 subscribers in a year, I want to have at least maybe 500 in May, right? If I want to, have a house and a home or whatnot in a year, then maybe I should, have so much money saved up, or, I should be pursuing these avenues to make sure I get there, right? So you have now your 1 year goal, then you have your 6 month goal, and then in between there, right, in between this little space right here, is where you're going to put your little branches, your tree branches, and those are going to be the steps, or the paths to take to get you to those goals. Okay. And then we're going to go down again to your 3 month and your 1 month and do the exact same thing. Okay. Where do you want to, how are you going to get from your 1 year goal? How are you going to get from your 1 month goal to your 1 year goal? Okay. Think of, like, the plans or the actions and the strategies it has to take you to get from where you currently are to that 1 year goal, and list those things out. Okay. Make that tree branch if you have to, or use a mind map if you have to visualize it and see where you're at, and put it on your wall, put it in your phone, like whatever you're looking at most often, wherever you're going to see on a regular basis, so that you can see, okay, in your wallet even, but you can see that, this is where I need to be. I need to make plans to get there. So in a month, which is December, I want to have at least, 5 blog posts, or like the month of January's blog posts. I want to have it written, formatted, and everything ready to be published when January comes. So now I'm thinking, okay, what do I have to do to get that many blog posts out and published and ready to be, published to the world? I need to go ahead and write them, right? Or outline them, and then write them, and then format them, and then make sure all the images are Pinterest images, or Facebook or Twitter, or what other platforms you post to, and then make sure that the tweets are all in there and they're active and ready to go, and whatever else I put in there, my newsletter signs up or whatever. So you have to write all that stuff down. It's good to see it and write it down and check it off as you go. That way, you're not missing any steps, and you're getting to your 1 month, your 3 month, your 6 month, and your 1 year, 5 year, and 10 year goals without any type of interruptions. All right, and so so this pretty much allows you to, like I said, focus on the big picture and create the paths to get you there. That's exactly what we're doing. Focus on the big picture and creating all those lines, those paths to get you to where you need to be. You're right. So yeah, you guys. Let's see here. Yeah, all right, perfect. Okay, so yeah, I think that was about it for my goal planning session. So if you want to go ahead, Kaylin, and go towards your next bullet point, then we should be all ready to go.
Yeah, I was scared to unmute it. I didn't want to make it echo weird.
Oh, I don't hear it now, so I think we're good. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's a little hiccup on my part or something. Who knows? But yeah.
Technology and me don't. Or I say Crowdcast and me don't go.
Yeah, Crowdcast, right? You guys, we're switching from Crowdcast. Okay, so we love it. We love the functionality of it, like the way that it has this layout. But it's not. Mm.
But anyway, so,
Yeah.
but so anyway, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about was where your audience is and being present and like outreaching to your audience. So I know for me, I do feel slightly conflicted, or at least I used to feel slightly conflicted, because I had multiple audiences that I wanted to bring in. So I have a target client, like I have a target customer that I want to bring for my design business. But as far as my blog and as far as my overall business success, I do have multiple audiences that I'm hoping will see me as a resource. So I was really conflicted about how to do that, like how to find, these different people, because I want to appeal to other bloggers and other creative entrepreneurs. I offer resources and blog posts that I think would be useful for them. But I also want to appeal to design clients because I want to make money and do design. And I didn't know really like separating how to outreach and how to be present in both of those arenas. So I really kind of analyzed my traffic, and I analyzed where people were coming from and then where they were going on my site once they got to my site. So Twitter, for example, I'm pretty active on, and I like Twitter a lot, but I wasn't getting any kind of client inquiries or anything like that from Twitter. I was getting business connections. I was making like business friends and business, relationships through Twitter. So I've kind of changed my strategy, and instead of just, like dumping all of my information on Twitter, like please love this blog post and please do this, I try to I try to put out things that I think will be helpful and useful towards other bloggers and towards other creative entrepreneurs that maybe aren't going to be my clients, but they will be, my friends, my connections, and people that I could work with in the future and things like that. So I'll put, my blog post or other blog posts that I've read that I think would be helpful towards them, or other just articles that I think will be helpful. Sorry, other things that I think will be useful towards them, like articles, quotes, like inspiration, motivation kind of things. Things that I think, like, not necessarily a client, but like a peer would like. And then, maybe in the future, like I'm starting to build up, a presence and be seen as someone that's helpful and be seen as a resource. Maybe in the future that will benefit me if I'm offering, a course or something like that that a fellow entrepreneur might, value or want to do. But as for now, I'm really just trying to build up that we can be friends, that we do have similar interests, that I do have useful information for them. On the other hand, Facebook groups I love. I get a ton of client inquiries from. And that's because what I post to Facebook groups is more design related, more promotional related, more as a resource and an expert in that arena. So if someone asks, oh, I need design services, or oh, I need to rebrand, or oh, what's the difference between CMYK and RGB, or what DPI should I be using, like those kind of things, design related things, I jump all over that and try to answer that and try to be present, try to like, showcase, in not like a braggy way, but like to showcase that I do know what I'm talking about and I can help them if they need it. And then like every time someone posts like, oh, I need a rebrand, and it just like floods with like 800 comments, and I try to like get in there real quick and like say something nice and appealing. But so I mean, Facebook, how I treat Facebook is a little different. And like, yeah, I mean, I'm promoting my blog posts on both ends, but I'm trying to stick to promoting blog posts that I think will be more relevant towards people that might want to see me as a design expert or as a design resource versus like a business expert or a business resource on Twitter. So I think when you're thinking about your business and finding your audience, you should kind of approach it in a similar way. So you should be thinking like, okay, I know I should be somewhat present on like most of the social media channels, which, I mean, I don't have like a LinkedIn, but I don't think I'm going to find any business on a LinkedIn. I have my account secured on a LinkedIn, so no one else can have a LinkedIn called The Crown Fox, which I totally recommend doing. But I've found where the people that I want to appeal are, and that's where I am. And I think that you should approach it in the same way. So if you see a lot of traffic coming from a few pins that you have, you should put a bunch more pins up there, because you'll probably in turn generate more traffic through that. And if you're noticing that a lot of the people that come to your website through Pinterest are people that are then reaching out for your services, then you should put more service-related pins out there so that more people seeking services will find them and come to your website and book you. I mean, if you're a service-based industry, I guess. If you're a product, then just put your product out there and the same thing will happen. And then I guess also try not to be too, I don't want to say the word oversaturated because I feel like that's kind of like buzzy, but I try not to be too much about myself. You know, there's all these different things that you'll hear, like ratios, like posting 20% yourself, 80% other people, or 30% yourself, 7% other people. I try not to be too oversaturating by just posting about myself, because that's not good at building community. And that if I see someone that's only posting their information, I kind of write them off as someone that doesn't, you know, care about the community aspect of things, or doesn't, you know, read other things and know other things that are going on in the interwebs. So I think it's really important when you are posting and you're being on Facebook and you're being on Twitter and you're being on Pinterest, like you need to be interactive and you need to be posting other people's stuff too, because then A, someone will see you as like a knowledgeable, well-rounded expert. B, other people that you're reposting will see you as a friend, as an ally, and then do the same for you and expose you to their audiences. And C, it's just good. It's good etiquette. It's good internet etiquette, I think, to be involved in like the community and not just be, you know, shamelessly promoting yourself only, because like it's pretty easy for a viewer to be able to tell if you're doing that. And I think as a general rule, it kind of turns them off. So yeah, that's kind of my little spiel about finding your audience and appealing to them.
I know when you were saying like when you it's another echo.
Oh no, let me mute myself. Hold on.
So I don't know why it does that, but I know when you were saying like you were listening like the color codes or whatnot, or the hex codes. I was like, what? I was like, what is she saying?
On like the design stuff. I was just trying to brag so you knew how smart I was.
But yeah, I was like, okay, clearly I don't know what she's talking about. That's why we need her in our lives. But
Facebook just last night, and I part of me feels kind of lame because I'm like, it's Friday night at 11 o'clock on Halloween, and like someone's asking these design questions. I'm just like boom, 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 answering them back like 4 seconds later. I'm like, clearly I have no life. But I think it was good information. And I mean, I don't know that she'll ever turn around and be a client, but anyone reading that might think, oh, okay, like that girl's a designer. She clearly is really talks a lot about stuff that relates to design. maybe she's someone I should look into or recommend or something, you know.
Yeah, like you're an authoritative figure to her now. You know your stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff, Caitlin. Okay, so we're gonna jump into I think this is the last bullet for the class today, which is market analysis, or what I like to call competitive analysis. You can call it whatever you want, but it's basically you're analyzing your competitors and your non-competitors, okay? And this is what I mean. I mean, like, technically, I like to think we're all a big happy family. That we all, you know, want each other to succeed and to have, you know, and make $10,000 or $50,000 a month and have in 6 figures in a year and those things. Like, we're not trying to knock anyone else down, right? So competitors don't think of it as we actually, you know, in the ring fighting against each other. We're in the same boat trying to get to the same place, right? Or at least try to get to a place that we like to call, you know, our comfort zone or our happy place or whatnot, for our businesses, for our personal lives, right? So, yeah, so this competitive analysis, right? It's pretty much the ideal is to do this, is to take someone that's within your niche, and take 1 or 2 people that's outside of your niche and see what they're doing and how they're doing it and what they do best, and to figure out a way to do what they do on your own level, to do what they do with your own spin to it, that fits your audience, that fits your brand. I'm not saying duplicate it. I'm not saying to copy them, but it definitely helps to keep an eye on, to see what they're doing and how they're doing it. Like, wow, this works for them. How does this work for them? Oh, okay, so let me figure out a way to make this work for me, right? We used to do this. I used to lease apartments. And so we did market surveys, is what we call them, market surveys, and we would survey all of the apartments within like a radius of where we were located, right? And I mean, they had to kind of we kind of mashed them up to fit our brand per se, our niche, which was we were a A+ property, meaning that we were brand new. We were spanking nice, like it looked like a hotel, you know, that we lived in. It was very high priced, so $100 at the lowest, and that was like the smallest room we had, you know, the smallest apartment that we had. And it went up to like over $2,600, $2,700 for a 2-bedroom. So very nice, very, you know, it was very prestigious, okay? In a nice area of Houston. And so we had to make sure that whoever we market survey, whoever we had a competitive analysis with, they were in the same room as us. You know, they had the same pricing as us. They had the same luxury items that we had, right? They had maybe similar floor plans or similar square footages. This is the same thing you're going to do with your business within your niche, okay? So you can open up an Excel document. You can write this down however you want, but Excel kind of helps out a little bit, or Google Sheets, right? And you may have rows or columns that says your business name and website, their products, their services, what you like about them, what you don't like about them, what social media platforms are they actively engaging in, and what are the ones that they're not really engaging in. Then you're gonna see if they have any type of case studies or some type of reports, or how they, you know, if they have any comments anywhere that's validating what they're doing and how they're doing it, and the people are saying that they are fabulous in what they're doing. Okay, you want to see those comments. Okay. All right, so for my competitive analysis lady or company brand is Minimalist Baker, and her name is Dana. That's behind Dana and her husband. I can't think his name, but I love them. Like Minimalist Baker is like if I had a chef, it would be her. And if anybody knows me, I love food. Like it's near and dear to my heart. Like it's like I'm thinking it's like this. It's my son and then it's food. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Like that's how I'm thinking of my life. It's comprised of. And literally, guys, yeah, Minimalist Baker is great. If you haven't went to her site, she's amazing. Okay, but that's who I looked at to form my competitive analysis with. Okay, so her products that she sells cookbooks that's paid for. She has a free detox guide. And she has another cookbook that she's just coming out with. That I don't even think it's released yet. Maybe or maybe not. I can't remember. But that's another cookbook that she has as a paid product. Okay. And then her services that she offers, she has a food photography school that she does with her husband. So these are things I'm looking at. Like, okay, she has a school. She has some cookbooks and a guide, and I guess they're doing pretty well. And I know they're doing well because she does what we talked about. What we're going to talk about a little later to validate what she does. Okay. So some things that I like about her. She has amazing images. I mean, they're just like so crisp, and like you can see the sweetness of a cinnamon roll like in the picture. It's amazing. I don't know how she does this, but she does it. And also her copy, the way she writes has so much personality that I'm just like, I want to be your best friend. Like, how do I contact you today? and how do we, you know, meet up for coffee later or whatever, right? She has awesome. Say it again.
Meet up for her cinnamon rolls.
Oh yeah. Yeah, cinnamon rolls and her smoothies and her iced coffee and her biscuits. Like I'm all down for that. Like we can do whatever you want to do, girl. As long as you're cooking.
Right.
And so her recipes. Her recipes are so, I mean, literally her name speaks for itself. Minimalist Baker. Okay. Her recipes are very minimal. Like you can use, she has, you know, like her biscuit recipe, right? It has like maybe 7 ingredients. And you can use those same 7 ingredients for another recipe, you know what I mean? And maybe add a couple more to that. But they're not like, I mean, you don't have to go to the grocery store and go look at the top shelf in the top corner of some aisle you never go down to find a ingredient or find a, you know, seasoning or whatnot. Like her recipes and her ingredients are very versatile in all of her recipes that she has. And I love that. Like, that's my type of cooking. Like I like to cook very simple and get straight to the point and have my dinner ready in an hour, right? But yeah, she has her recipes broken down easily for us to look at. So, you know, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 with images in there, so you know that you're going on the right path. If you know that you are doing the right step at the right time. And plus, she has a bunch of categories that resonate with me so well, like 30 minutes or less. Like really, who doesn't like dinner in 30 minutes or less? Or a 1 bowl she has a one bowl recipe to where like these recipes are literally made in one bowl. Like a cornbread recipe. Oh my gosh, I literally make cornbread every week. Like I'm not even joking, you guys. I wish I was joking sometimes, but I'm not. I literally make a cornbread once a week, and it's so it's just amazing like how she just captivates me like this. But she has like vegan and dairy free and breakfast and snacks. Like these are categories that she have that I like, that's easy to recognize, right? And some things that maybe I don't like about her, right? Or about her brand. Maybe I couldn't think of anything, so I thought something like this was just random. And she doesn't have any tags, so maybe if she maybe tagged, if she had a tag that says vegan and dairy free, or like or something like a savory or sweet thing that I can click on and I can see all the sweets, you know, I can see all the, you know, the smoothies, right, or all the juices that she makes. That would make it easier for me a little bit, but she doesn't have that. Okay. And then I look at the social media that she's on, and I say, okay, she's on Pinterest, which that's how I found her. She's on Twitter. She doesn't engage much on Twitter though. She's on there, but she tweets back, and she'll, you know, favorite and she'll retweet. So that's awesome, right? She's on Snapchat. Yes, I follow her on Snapchat. Okay, like I love her. I really like her recipes. She gives sneak peeks and behind the scenes on Snapchat, you know, so that's pretty cool to me. She is on YouTube, okay? So these are the ones that she's on very heavily. The ones she's not really on that often, Twitter, okay. Facebook, she's on there, but not really. Periscope, I haven't seen her on Periscope. You know, so these are the ones that she's really not on. And then I go into her case studies or her reports or look at her comments. If you go on, I promise you, if you go on any of her recipes, you're gonna see a load of comments and how they love it, or the pictures look amazing, or I'm gonna try this tomorrow, or this is perfect for Thanksgiving, or, you know, like there's a load of comments because they understand or see that how beautiful her layout is made on her website and how much it resonates with them, right? So it's the same thing with me. Like I see this and I'm like, oh, you know, this is perfect for me. This is perfect for, you know, whatever I have going on. And she also has income reports. So you can clearly see what product and services are giving her the most money and how it's benefiting her. So her cookbook, right, it can be making so X amount of dollars per month. And she talks about how she maybe did some advertising with that, or how she kind of went about creating that cookbook, right? So this validates all her products and her services and validates how she does her business, okay? Now that I see all that, take all the information that you've researched and you've analyzed and determined how can you apply these winning techniques and strategies to your business, right? How can I apply Minimalist Baker's strategies and how she goes about interacting with her audience and her services and products, and how can I put that towards the business that I want to have, right? How can you take your analysis and apply it to your audience and your ideal client? I think about the one way that I came across her was Pinterest. And so I'm looking at her Pinterest, right? I see these gorgeous images with the, you know, typography that clearly says what it's about. And then I see that she has a rich pen, which clearly identifies to me that she's about her stuff. Like she, you know, that she has validated herself to have a rich pen. And then she has her recipes underneath there, meaning like step 1, step 2, like how much butter you need, how much salt you need, you know, that all that's there. So you can automatically see that and know, oh, great, I don't have to go to her website all the time to kind of figure out what I need and what I don't need. Not only that, but she also has like, okay, yeah, she also has subscriptions. So her subscriptions are laid out, and it's her own personality is within her description, but she has descriptive words along with it, like, you know, savory or sweet, or, you know, things we might look up like breakfast, or quick meals, or, you know, dairy free and vegan. Like I'm always looking for vegan things. So that's her, you know, that's what she has in her description to make it easy for someone to find her, right? And then she had these bold colors on there that makes it easy to pop out amongst the crowd of everyone else. So these are things I'm like, oh, I need to figure out how to make this match, or how to reciprocate her strategy for my business. So I'm saying, okay, I don't have recipes, so I'm gonna figure out how do I make my Pinterest image look as amazing as hers, you know, have that effect that it has on me as her, you know, because I'm her ideal audience or client. So my image may have just like a bold color, like one bold, like my thing is like I have a color like similar to gold. So I make sure that my goal is like on there and it's popping, right? And then I may have a contrast color on there just to kind of, wean it down a little bit, but it won't take away from the goal. It won't make you, scroll past. You're gonna see my goal. And then I have a nice typography on there, so something that's bold, that's plain, that's easy to read, that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And then I make sure my descriptions are filled out with keywords, which I'm still working on that. That's something that I have to definitely get better at. And then I want to make sure that, okay, I need to make sure that I have a rich pen, which is pretty cool. If you have Squarespace, I know that mine's automatically became a rich pen. I don't even know how I did that, but I connected my site to Pinterest and it became a rich pen, so that's pretty cool. And then I want to make sure that I may be pinning to multiple boards, on my page as well. So I may pin to if I'm talking about, procrastination hacks, which is my last post, I may pin that to productivity, right? And then I may pin it to, let's see, like my business board or entrepreneur board or whatever. That way I get the most visibility within that with that one pin. Okay. And so that's maybe how I can replicate what she does with Pinterest. And this is exactly what I mean about analyzing your competitors, your non-competitors. See what they're doing, how they're doing well at it. Make some notes about that. Just write what you like and what you don't like. Write with some things that they are doing well. And like on Twitter, I can tweet out a recipe to her because I've done it, and I said like how much I've loved it or how I liked it or how it changed my life. And she tweets me back, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you like the recipe. Or she tweets me back a little emoji heart, and I'm like head over heels again, okay? Because I'm like, she actually is engaging with me. Like she appreciates, my the way she appreciates me tweeting out to her and sharing her recipes with her, right? And how it resonated with me well. So that's exactly what I mean, you guys. Find that person that's within your niche, and find a person that's outside your niche. Maybe two people that's outside of your niche from two different categories. That resonate not close to you at all. Like cooking is nowhere near what I'm doing, right? So I may do like games, sports, or something like that, and that's totally outside of what I'm doing. But you can see how they built their brand, how these different platforms work for them, how selling the different products and services work for them, and find a way to make it work for you. Figure out how you can do the same thing but better, and for your own target audience, and for your niche, right? Hey Sheila, I see you popped in. How are you? But yeah, you guys, that was pretty much it. So we've kind of went on a lot of stuff today. I know, like for me, you figured out how to figure out your idea. I got some worksheets on there to figure out your idea. Then next, you figured out how to take your idea and deliver it to your ideal client in the best method possible. So your products and services. And then we've goal set it already. We figured out how to kind of go about figuring out our goals for the next 3, 6 year, 5-year, 10-year goals. And then of course we've analyzed our competitors and figured out a way that's a cool strategy. And it's something that I also want to let you know, guys, that we're going to talk about this a little bit in a few minutes, but we're going to like dig deep into these things within my course and Caitlin's course, right, Caitlin? Yeah.
Sorry, I had to unmute it.
We're going to dig into these things very heavily and really strategize and be accountable for each other as we're going through this, because we want, of course, to succeed and have these goals and have these cohesive brands. And the best way is to make sure that you're following, you're kind of going through the timeline of things and making sure that everything is kind of consistent with what you're doing. So yeah.
Before, like knowing, like the fact that we feel like some of the things that we talk about are second nature, that doesn't necessarily mean it is for other people. And like sharing the kind of knowledge and things that we've learned or that we know from experience or whatever it is, that sharing that and teaching that and like really helping kind of step ahead, like to get a few steps ahead so that you don't have to like make errors or make mistakes or waste time or waste money or anything like that. Like
exactly
really what we both want to do for people. So yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start screen sharing. Is that cool with you?
Yeah.
Okay, and if you have like any questions, you guys, put them in the Q&A at the bottom so that we can make sure we answer those before we all wrapping up here. All right, let's see here. I don't even know where it's at anymore. Can you see that?
Yeah, it's over on. Oh yeah, you got it.
Can you still see it?
Yep.
You can still see it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so we have our bundle, the Ultimate Business and Branding Bundle, which is exactly what it says. Caitlin's gonna be all about branding and cohesive branding, and then I'm gonna be all about business and getting you from an idea to launching your business, right? And so I want to talk about like this one thing really quickly. I mentioned earlier that we are going to really dig into all these topics that we talked about. We're going to get into them more in depth. But one thing is for sure that we're going to make sure that those goals and those competitive analysis are really, really, really being strategically planned out. And you can really get an idea and form some plans around, what you want to do, what you want to be. And I'm going to give you spreadsheets. I'm going to give you a goal planning layout so you can easily pop those bad boys in there and start, and put them on your wall or whatever you have to do to see that on a regular basis. So that's definitely going to dig into that really good and make sure that those goals and those plans and those analysis and all that back end stuff is good, because this definitely helps with your business. It helps you visualize where you want to be, how you want to grow, what do you want to do next. This is all a part of building a business.
Yeah, definitely. And then for me, like my whole spiel, my whole goal is to create really cohesive brand. Like that is like my buzzword. That's the word that I want people to take away from working with me, is that they have a cohesive brand. So my plan in my course is that you understand that and you have a plan in place for that, and that you there's never a question of, well, what should I be posting, or what should I be making, or what should this look like? That there's already such a strong cohesive plan in place that you don't have to even waste your time or waste your energy or waste your money thinking about it, that you've already set all these kind of rules almost, that this is how you design things, or this is the kind of voice that you use, or this is what your emails look like. I want all of that to be in place when I'm done working with you, so that it's an easy, seamless transition. So it's not like, oh, you work with me and then, we're done. And then a month later, you're like, what do I do now? No, like we want to have a plan in place so that when you're done working with me, you're set, you're ready to go. Like you have no questions about how to put your brand out there, to create your brand, to keep your brand consistent and cohesive.
For sure. That's all it's about, man. You got to have a plan of action afterwards too.
Yep.
Okay, so with not only are you getting her course, in my course, which we like to call it, like it's like we both have courses that are pretty much are like going to be filled with great stuff, and they're going to take you on this journey, right? They're going to make sure you go from the beginning to the end, but it's going to be so jam-packed with valuable content that you can execute right away, which is going to make it amazing. Anyway, it's going to access to our Facebook group, which we can be a community together. We can solve each other problems. We can ask questions. We can, if you're stuck on something, we can kind of figure out how to go. Plus, if you have any technical problems or technical difficulties within the course, we can figure that out, because we're going to be in there active as well.
Definitely.
Okay, and then we're going to have 2 coaching calls. So you're going to have the opportunity to have 2 coaching calls with each of us, right? So 2 from Caitlin, 2 from me. And they're going to be 30 minutes each. And it's going to pretty much, whatever you want to tackle during that call, we're going to tackle it together. And you can schedule that as we go through the course.
Mm-hmm. And they're scheduled at your planning, at your leisure, whenever you think it's appropriate in the course. Ideally, I think I consider, the beginning and the end, but maybe you feel like you need to save them both to the end because you want, to make sure that you fully understand everything, or whatever it is that works for you. Like those are your convenience whenever you want them.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right. So all that together, you guys, her courses, or her course, shall I say, my course, Facebook group, plus I'm blank, coaching calls, all that's about $100 value, you guys. That's all that. And of course, we wouldn't make you pay that because we love you too much. And that class price for today is $697. So it's pretty awesome. It's a pretty good discount. and you get all that good stuff as well, which is awesome. And then, you know, like all these videos that we're doing right now, like if you need like a refresher or anything, you can have that access to it. Because I feel that after we wrap this thing up, the series up, we're gonna repackage this, repurpose these up, and you know, maybe sell it for a discounted price, right? Because they have so much value in them.
Definitely. But
hold on, you know, I have to pick you up a little bit. Like I said, we do appreciate you, and we do, you know, love everybody. So between now and Sunday evening at 11 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is midnight Eastern Standard Time, and it is, what time is that? 11 to 9 Pacific Standard Time. It's $100 off if you use this code right here, BB100, right? So it'll be $597, you guys, and that's still a really good deal. And like I said, you guys, oh, I didn't mention this, which is something that I forgot, but we are open to payment plans, you guys. Simply, if you want a payment plan at all, you can just simply reach out to us via email. We can put the email in the chat box. And we can send you the information via email as well. And then, but if you go there, I'll fix it up so we can make sure the payment plans are active and we can get that going. Right, Caitlin?
Add to the email in there.
Oh, awesome.
Well, I think I did. It says it's orange.
I have it. Say it again.
I think it's sending the email.
Hopefully it is. So you guys, that's gonna be pretty awesome. I'm excited about it. And just to let you know, though, you guys, we are yeah, the email's already in there. Good. The courses are going to launch next year. They're going to launch at the beginning of next year, so you're getting it at a really good time, at a really good price. And I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say about it besides it's going to be filled with like jam-packed stuff, and this is going to be good for your business. Whether you want to, like I said, if you still in the idea phase, or if you maybe even have like a really good solid idea, and you're trying to figure out what's the next steps, both branding and both business wise, like this is like a complete package of the two. Like this, I mean, it can't get any better than this.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that I don't see any questions or anything to answer.
Well, awesome. Yeah, I think that we're good then, right?
Yeah. I hope everyone has a good weekend.
Yes, me too. I hope that you enjoy your weekend. And November 1st is coming up. Like, it's tomorrow. I'm so excited about that. Because November is my birthday month and it's Thanksgiving, and I love to eat, like we all know now. So family and food is my type of deal. Like that's what I you know, that's like my thing. Like, you know, baby, food, and family.
Priorities. Hashtag priorities.
Yeah, right. But yeah, you guys, I appreciate everyone that came out that was active with us today, and that viewed our broadcast. And like I said, you guys, if you need to catch up or look at this again, you can easily watch the replay. It's going to be here until we finish this series up. Yeah, so there's no more questions. I think we're all good to go, right, Caitlin?
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome. Well, you have a great evening and a great day. Don't do too much. Watch those witches and those and those, you know, whatever other Halloween costume people have out today. Oh yeah, those cats and those cheetahs and I don't know what we're doing today, but we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
Talk to y'all later. See you in about 2 weeks, right, Caitlin?
Okay. We'll send an email to all that. Yeah.
Say it again.
So I'm going to send out an email right after this for that information.
Yes, awesome. So I'll be that in that email. Perfect. All right, you guys. Bye-bye.
Okay.